Okay, we're rolling.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the How to Podcast series where we talk podcasting with great people. And I love podcasting because you get to meet people that you might not normally meet. And then when you find out they live close to you, you're like, come on, that's really cool. And when they do a summit that can help bring podcasters and experts together in one place, build up the podcasting community, that's a bonus. And on top of that, let's just keep layering it on. They also have a podcast as well. Like, there's too much to talk about. We're probably going to be a 5-hour podcast today, everyone. So just pay attention, take notes. I'm really excited to have Kathy here. And your last name is the name of the street I grew up on in Barrie, Ontario. Kathy Baldwin is here. Kathy, welcome.
I love that. So happy to be here, Dave. So happy to meet another local person. And my dream as a child was to find a house on Baldwin Street.
There you go. Yeah, I lived at... I'm giving away my address. 68 Baldwin Lane. Yeah, Baldwin Lane in Barrie, Ontario. That's where I grew up. So there you go.
I love it.
Awesome. Good to have you here. Now, you and I connected around your Podcast to Profit Summit, and I was thrilled to be included in part of this. And it's coming up very quickly. So we're going to record the episode, get it live, so everybody can come and participate. Where did the idea of Podcast to Profit Summit come from? Why does it exist? Please kind of fill us all in.
When I started my podcast, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I found out that there's an 85% pod fade stat. And that really, really upset me. And my podcast is about unlearn the crap and level up. Your soul is calling. And I realized the power of the voice and the power of the mission. And I've got some altruistic thoughts about what is happening in our world, about systems breaking and empowerment coming to the individual. And I realized that I was so passionate about this that I wanted to create an ecosystem, a community where podcasters could 85% succeed.
The opposite of pod fade.
Yeah, that's my mission.
Yeah, I love community for podcasters. I love anything that brings people together, connects people who do like things and like things that other people like. It's this whole thing, right, where you feel sometimes quite alone as a content creator. So anytime you can connect with people, it's great. How long has Podcast to Profit Summit been running?
This is the first one. So thank you so very much for, And I am absolutely thrilled and honored. I guess because I've been podcasting for almost 2 years now, I've been a part of a community. There were so many amazing people that have jumped on board and offering their knowledge. So I'm going to be making this a bi-monthly event.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. We can all sign up and follow along. We'll have links, obviously, for everybody to follow. What's the finish line for your event? What are you hoping to achieve at the end of the event that's coming up here in the beginning of December? How do you know it's going to be a success as an organizer?
If I can inspire somebody who has been sitting on the fence, who has been wondering, can I do this? If they come away with enough knowledge that they're like, yes, let's do this, let's go, and they have the knowledge of what it takes to turn it from a hobby into a thriving business, that'll be a success. But I'm so passionate about those people who went out on a limb, who did all the work, and then they're struggling. And if we can reignite that passion that brought them, and bring their podcasts back to life.
I like it. Who are you trying to pull in audience-wise? Where are you advertising this? U.S., Canada, the world? What's your focus?
Yes.
Yes and yes and yes and yes. Done. Next question, Dave.
I think of podcasting as the new fire circle, where we're sitting around and we're talking and we're creating intimate conversations and relationships. This industry now has changed my first question for people from, hey, what do you do for a living, to what time zone are you in? And the more we are connecting around the world, the more we're realizing just how much we're all the same. I know it's
Uh,
altruistic.
it's great. No, it's good. Where did the idea come from then to start this? Like, did you just came up with this on your own? Did you see someone else doing it and your copy kind of modeling off someone else's
No,
platform?
no, actually, I knew that I believe that podcasting is one, a business on its own. It's also a way of
Yeah,
sharing information, but it's also a great way of creating community and collaborations, which is part of my mission statement for my business. And so I think I saw someone doing this summit on, oh, I know, I was on somebody's summit. And I thought I should do one of these for podcasters. And
yeah.
so I just jumped in and got organizing. I've been an organizer for most of my life, so
Yeah, I was a part of, I was speaking at Podmatch has a summit idea that they do quarterly, and it was great. Like, I was in there chatting and talking and leading a room for that, and then they release it as a podcast after the fact, which is kind of
oh, I
interesting.
like that
So they
idea.
capture all the content, right? And then they
Yeah.
put it out as their own podcast. So it allows people to hear it later. The one nice thing that they did on theirs was like it was pre-recorded. It's kind of like a TED Talk.
Okay.
So there's a pre-recorded thing, a video, and then they play my video, but I'm there in the room talking with the people watching the video, and then I take questions about what we just saw. And it's only like 16-minute format for the recorded video, right? And then the remainder of the time in a room together, we talk and explore more about the content, what we just talked about.
Oh, I
So,
might have to
and then
steal
and then
that
they
idea,
release
Dave.
that
That's
16.
amazing.
Yeah, is right. And then they take that 16-minute clip and they turn that into a podcast.
Yeah.
So you don't get the question and answer after the clip, but you get the content of the clip. So it serves the guest as well because then that goes out later as a podcast episode.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting format and it's really fun. And I use Podmatch for my guests for a lot of my shows. So it kind of all worked out really well. It was a great opportunity. So for me to connect with you about your event, I was just thrilled. I'm like, this is awesome. I really enjoy doing this kind of stuff and talking to other podcasters and encouraging them. So I'm all in. I'm so excited to be part of this.
I am so excited to have you there with your expertise and your knowledge. How long have you been podcasting? I know you got 9.
I got 9 podcasts. Yeah, that's just a problem that I have. My wife is like shaking her head at me, like you're just, what is wrong with you? But I just love meeting great people, and 9 different shows gives me 9 different excuses to have conversations, right? But yeah, I've been doing it for about 6 years roughly, and editing for people as well. I have some clients that I do editing and back end work for them, where they just record and I take care of the rest. So I'm all in. I just love this community, and anything that I can do to help the community grow like you,
Yep.
that's what I want to do.
Isn't that amazing how things are changing from a place of greed?
Yeah.
Podcasting, the whole industry is about give.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
holding it to myself. Don't gonna share my secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
That's the thing that I love most about this industry is it is so selfless, so giving. It comes from the best part of humans.
Yeah. Right.
I know I sound
It's good.
airy.
No, no, I think I'm with you for your event that's coming up in December. And if you're listening, there'll be future events, so make sure you come back. But for December specifically, do you have kind of like themes to the different types of people that will be speaking? Is it kind of open to kind of general topics? How are you kind of grouping for the person coming, how to decide which event I want to go to and what speaker I want to connect with? How do you kind of arrange that?
Great question. I love this. I believe that there's 4 steps to success from turning a podcast from just a hobby sitting behind a mic into an actual thriving business. And so
Yeah.
the podcast summit is divided up into those steps. So the first is produce and publish. That is all your basics from how to podcast and creating the interviews and how to organize and mindset and all of those other areas, because I believe in talking to the entire entity of people and their business. And so that's about pretty much what day 1 is. And then day
Okay.
2 is about strategies and monetization and different ways of using your podcast to actually create a thriving business. And then day 3 is about logistics and implementation and those strategies. So that's how I've divided it up. I encourage everyone to come for all 3 days. And if you can, of course, the VIP is there, but it is going to be live. It's going to be interactive. I'm creating networking groups because I want even the attendees to be able to come and promote their podcast.
Okay. That's okay. I like that. So is there time to talk, or are we going to go room for room to room to room with like no time to interact with the people in the room that are with us during that session? Do you have any time baked in?
In the middle of the day,
Good.
I'm doing a half-hour break for everyone to put in the chat their podcast, introduce themselves. And the whole thing is about everyone who is a speaker who has a podcast. We are going to be encouraging likes and subscribes and interaction with the speakers, but I also wanted the
Okay.
attendees to
All
be a
right.
part of it.
So yeah, I have 9 shows, so I don't know how that's going to work. But okay, because that's a lot of liking and subscribing for Dave. But anyway, we'll pick one. How about that? That'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. I think we're promoting this
Yeah.
podcast as the one too, but you know what? Well, we can add every single podcast onto the list so people know all the ones that you're
And
doing.
people are like, Dave, you're being selfish. Stop it. Yeah. No. No. I just love connecting with people. So this is great. All right. So the event is going to be live December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Am I right? Okay.
Yes,
2nd, 3rd, and
yeah.
4th.
I'm planning on doing it every second month, the first week of the
Oh,
month.
okay. That's easy to plan for.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
So if someone's
that's
listening to this after this event, but they want to be a participant and work with you and be a speaker for the next one, what kind of things are you looking
yep.
for from a speaker's point of view?
I'm looking for anything that helps the podcasters. Like I said, mindset, financial, business, the business of podcasting, how to create an offer, coaching, all the different monetization strategies. I'm looking for podcasters to share their best advice. Because I'm going to be asking you, so I'm not asking that question right here, right now, because I want to hear it on the
Yeah.
summit. But what is your best advice? What are the things that you would recommend people look out for so that we are really sharing all that information? So it is going to be a wide range
Okay.
of information.
For the event itself, when we go into a room or to that talk, is the speaker going to be there on their own, or is there a host kind of also working with the speaker in front of an audience? Like how does the room operate when we come in to see a topic we're interested in?
I love this question. That's really cool. Both.
Okay.
Because each speaker has their own best way of doing
Okay.
things, just like some podcasters prefer guests and some prefer solo and some prefer a mix. That's what the summit's going to be.
Okay.
There's some speakers who say, you know what, I have my presentation. Every speaker is going to be 25 minutes. So they might do their presentation, or some want an interview, and I'm going to be the host. So I'll be the one getting to ask all the questions.
Okay. Are you doing this all by yourself?
I have a team behind
Okay.
me, but yes, right now it is me being the host and running it. Who knows where it's going to go in the future?
So you get lots of rest before the 2nd, okay? Because we need you healthy and strong. This is a marathon to run this for us. So I really appreciate you doing this.
Oh, my pleasure. But I believe in
Good.
automation. So everything that I'm doing is going to make the future ones even easier because I'm creating the systems as I go. So,
Okay. What platform are you using to run the actual event on?
oh, I've partnered. Well, one of the things I did was I created an automation system. I think I
Yeah.
told you, for podcasters. So it's all the back end automation. I'm partnered with Soul Software,
Okay.
and they are a go high level provider. So that system integrates within there. And then she created, the CEO of Soul Software, she created a customized podcast studio. So that's where the event is going to be in.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So we are integrated from every aspect of the business, and it'll be the summit room too. It's off of any of the other big platforms. It's private, it's encrypted, it's customizable. So yeah.
Okay. I have so many questions for you, and I love this because now I'll be more prepared when I come. Is there a way for us as people watching and viewing and participating as a participant? Is there a way for us to communicate with each other as like a chat or anything, or are we
Yeah,
listening?
think about a Zoom
Zoom?
room.
Okay. All right.
Because this whole studio is set up with the best of all different
Okay.
aspects. Like we're gonna get a lot of things automated that are going to happen, which is perfect for a podcaster. But the chats are there, the screen sharing, the emojis, the interaction, the all that is built into it.
Wow. I like this. I also noticed on the event list you have some panel discussions. Kind of what are the idea for a panel discussion? What are you looking for there?
The panel discussion is going to be on day
Day 3.
3.
Okay.
So it is going to be podcasters coming in and sharing their best advice about how to really turn it into a business.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then for people that are that not able to see every event, but they're curious about maybe after the fact, they view the content later. Is that part of what we're doing as well?
Yep, the attendance is
Yeah.
free, so there will be replays for the weekend. And then, of course, if someone wanted lifetime access to everything, there is a VIP, but the VIP gets them even more. We're going deep diving into a lot of the different topics for the VIPs and be able to share all this information.
Excellent. I noticed you had some pretty interesting presenters. I think I saw Rob
Yes.
Walsh from Libsyn, for example. I'm like, wow,
Yes.
that's a big fish for us to to have at the event. That's great to have him there.
I am so excited that he's a part of it because the Finally podcast automation system, we're going to be partnering and we'll be able to automate the uploading and distribution with
Nice.
Libsyn. So
Nice.
we're creating a partnership with that. The whole thing is about creating community and collaboration.
Good. Anybody else you're interested to check out their talk?
Oh, yeah, with Rob
Yeah.
too. Rob wants to really bring the facts and the data
Yeah.
to the podcasters. He's got a whole list of topics. He's going to be one that is a sole
Yeah.
presenter.
Okay.
So he's got all of the real facts so that people can come in with real knowledge about the industry. So I'm really excited about him.
Yeah.
I've got people talking about how to take your podcast and turn it into a speaking engagement,
Nice.
how to create a anthology book project, every area, how to take your trauma and your pain and turn it into a mission that you're giving back. I mean, I think I've gone as well-rounded as I can possibly go in 3 days.
It's really good. What else are we missing
Thank
from the
you.
conversation we haven't touched on that you're like, we really need to let people know about this as they're signing up? Is there anything else we've missed from what we chatted about so far?
I think you've been really thorough with your questions, and I really, really appreciate that. But helping me to get the word out. No, the sign up is quick and easy. It's open to everyone. We're going 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern for those 3 days. Jam packed with tons of information, and to be honest, I've taken all of the things that I loved about summits and all the things that I didn't, and I I put it in all together so that it is unique and really I'm really proud of who we've got coming
Yeah.
and what we're building here.
Do you
Yeah.
have any concept or any idea of how many people you might be expecting to come and participate?
We're in promotion period
Yeah.
right now, so I don't know that. Like I said, this is the first one, so we will see. But the room itself, I purposely created a room that only holds 200.
Okay. All right.
So
So get in there.
anyone who,
Yeah.
sorry,
Get in there, everyone, as you're listening. Then, oh, wait a minute, I want to go. Yeah.
yes, and I hope, of course, we're gonna sell out, but it'll end up being that there'll be people who will have to come in and out because the room can only handle so much. I wanted to create a really intimate fireside conversation, people to people. So I purposely chose not to do a great big room.
Okay. Well, see, I love finding a great resource for podcasters. That's why I'm glad I have time with you. I want to talk a little bit more about your show as well, and maybe your own personal podcast journey. I want to help people listening to be encouraged to start their show. So what was the origin story for your own podcast? And maybe if you could talk to somebody listening who wants to start a show, from your perspective, what would be helpful as far as how to start a podcast like you did?
Where do you want me to start?
Let's start with your show. Explain more about it, and then we'll get into more of that. I like it.
Okay, so I was corporate. I was in the corporate world doing things the way I was taught and believed, and it led to burnout and it led to a breakdown, which led to my breakthrough. And I realized I needed to do things differently. That created my book, which was Unlearn the Crap and Level Up Your Soul is Calling, where all of the knowledge that I had gained from personal empowerment, personal development, our health, wealth, connection to universal laws, that's what I talk about on my podcast. And so because that is the foundation of what I do and believe in, it's all evolved from there. I ended up from there creating the podcast where we talk about everything that involves every aspect of our lives, from health, wealth, relationships, sex, money, business, you name it. We talk about it on the podcast because I believe that we can't be siloed anymore.
Good. Excellent.
And everything's been an evolution for me.
Yeah. So what would have been helpful for you to hear when you first started your show to maybe help you get over some of those hurdles that keep you from pod fading? What would have been helpful to hear now looking back on your show that you've kind of learned over the years?
I wish I had, I love this question. That's probably exactly why I'm structuring the summit the way I am, is because I never understood the power of all of the monetization strategies, what was involved in turning it into a business.
Yeah.
I was giving, I was serving. And I believe that that's part of the crap that we need to unlearn, that we need to be able to give and receive. Reciprocity is a real thing. So I was overgiving. And now that I created structure and systems and different avenues of monetization, it now supports me rather than drains me. And I wish someone had told me that instead of, here's how you hold a camera, here's how you put your mic on, this is how we throw to commercial, which I don't do anymore. Yeah. All of these things. And the other piece of advice that I wish I'd have been told was just show up myself.
Yeah.
Because when I first started, I was trying to be like someone you saw on TV. You and I are from Ontario, so I'm going to say this. Yeah. The vision I had when I started my podcast was City TV.
Yeah, okay.
Cityline TV, where they had a different show every week, and it was very casual and all these different conversations. And so I was trying to show up really professional instead of just raw, real. And that's what I find the audience is really clamoring for. You must find the same thing, right? The people want real people on the other end.
People want, I always encourage podcasters to build in public, to not put the best of their best out and hide all of the scars and all of the little bumps and bruises, because people don't resonate with perfection. They might admire it. They might be like, wow, what a great sounding podcast. But they also like it when somebody says, I'm really struggling today. And this is something that I'm really battling through right now. If you're feeling like this, just know that you're not alone, because I'm having a rough day today. And somebody listening is like, wait a minute. As a listener, now I have an ally. I have you. I've got Kathy. She's telling me how she's living her life. She's showing me. She's working through the hard stuff. And she's not hiding it from me. giving me like, the best of shots on Instagram. I always kind of think of it as a kitchen that's perfectly, like, everything's in its place. It's ready for like a showing, a home opening, right? For real estate. Everything's in its place. It's perfect. And you walk in and go, oh, this is not my kitchen. My kitchen's full of dishes. I got like half-eaten fruit on the counter. I'm not sure what that is over there, but it shouldn't be there. And we're like, my life is so much different than this picture perfect, house that's being shown right now. And I don't connect with this. It doesn't feel real to me. I like people just, not that we're going to purposely just sabotage our podcast and our life to be real, but we don't hide it. We don't hide it from people. We build in public. That's one thing I really try to encourage podcasters to do. Don't be afraid to just not be enough some days, because people listening, they're also feeling the same thing.
Absolutely. Do you know, on that conversation, I've had multiple conversations with people who are connected to Hollywood, and they're saying they're seeing that as well. That the audience doesn't want the celebrity. They don't want the polished written scripts. And so that's why podcasting itself as an industry, I think, is really growing, is because people want connection. They want to be able to be a part of a conversation like this, where we're talking amongst each other. There's no script. There's no perfection. We're just as if anyone who is listening would be sitting here in our living room here
Right.
with us.
Yeah. I try to do that on my author podcast, Living Next Chapter, because we're recording it in the past and someone's going to listen to it in the future. And I want my listener to feel like they're here with us, even though they weren't. So one of my little challenges for every guest, because on my show, is I want them to realize that the most important person in this conversation, they're not here right now. It's not you as the guest, and it's not me as the host. We're here to serve the audience, the listener. They're going to show up later. So anytime that we can acknowledge them in how we talk and how we converse, and if I ask you a question that's really good for the listener, then instead of saying, Dave, I would say to your listener, ... then just say to the listener, because they're here. So I'll ask you a question, and then I'm going to get out of the way and have you talk to them, because they're right here beside me. So let's acknowledge them, right? And kind of have that visual in our mind that there's one other person here with us right now. And how do we include them in what we're talking about?
Absolutely. If we are talking over people, if we are trying to project an image instead of create an intimate, vulnerable conversation, no one's going to want to listen anyways.
Yeah.
That's part of the energetic connection of what we do. And so knowing that we're all in this together, the listener, you, me, all of us, we're just in different locations.
Yeah. And I've had some people as authors on my show, and they talk about some pretty intense, heavy topics that a listener could potentially be embarrassed to tell people, I'm listening to a podcast about fill in the blank.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about podcasting is people are listening with their headphones or earbuds. And I could be listening to music right now, or I could be listening to a topic that I'm wrestling with, that nobody in the room around me even knows I'm wrestling with this topic. But I can get the information I need from a trusted person who understands me and can has a resource that can help me. And I don't have to out myself to anybody in the moment. And I can get what I need through podcasting in a safe and secure way. So I love that about podcasting too, the intimacy and connection. I think that's fabulous.
Well, that's exactly why I'm doing everything I'm doing, is because I believe that shared knowledge of each of us, because we all have challenges and we all have expertise and knowledge. And if we're sharing both of them, then we're coming together to support each other. I agree with you. I have guests on where we're talking about addiction. We talk about health. We talk about marriage choices, infidelity, bankruptcy, building a business, falling down, traumas. I mean, we talk about everything and come with solutions. Yeah. So it's not just a way of yeah, this bad thing happened to me. It's like this bad thing happened to me, and then I tried this and I figured that out. And it's that shared knowledge that I think is so kind of like exactly what you're doing
Right.
here is sharing the knowledge about podcasting with everybody.
It's funny. I had somebody reach out to me a little while ago, Kathy, and they said, I listened to the How to Podcast series, and I'm like, well, that's great. And they said, but I'm not ever going to be a podcaster. And I'm like,
Ooh,
they're like, I don't listen to your show for the content. And now everything I've been taught is content is king. Like you have to make sure you got great content. People will come for what you talk about on your show. This person
yeah.
said, I come because of your voice. You keep me
Oh,
company. You could talk about anything and I would listen to your show. So I'm never going to start a
what?
podcast, but I listen to you because you show up for me. This show, I have 3 episodes a week. They said, I show up, you show up for me every 3 times a week. So now you're part of my part of my week. And I like what you're talking about, but I'll never be a podcaster. But thank you for what you do. And I'm like, that's like the oddest compliment, non-compliment, I guess, at the same time. Because I'm like,
Oh,
I put a lot of
I
work
think
into my
that's a
content,
huge
right? I love
compliment.
it though, right? It's that companionship.
I think that, yeah, when you start spreading your influence past what your original scope was and affecting people in different areas, that,
Yeah.
congratulations. Woohoo.
So, and when I think of your show, you said you have multiple topics. I, as a
Yep.
listener, may not be interested in every single topic you talk about, but I'm interested in Kathy. So I show up for you,
Yeah.
right? So I will listen to something maybe that I only have marginal knowledge about. Like I don't really understand the topic, but I trust Kathy that you won't do an episode
Yeah.
that I won't like because I'm one of your community members. So it doesn't matter what you talk about, Kathy. I'm going to listen to your show anyway because I like you. And people have that connection and community and companionship with you as a host that,
Yeah.
you have license to do whatever you want on your show because I come for you, right? I trust you that much that it doesn't matter what your next episode's about. I'm going to press play, right? It's because of you. And I think that's a part
Well,
that we also need to think about as
yeah.
podcasters, right?
And and that's what's really important. Thank you for saying that. Is when we show up authentically and
Yeah.
vulnerably, and we're not trying to hide anything. It's very much like building a relationship with someone in your real
Yeah.
life. And if I'm passionate about if it's fitting what is important to me, then I believe exactly what you said. Do you know that with Unlearn the Crap, everything for me is about personal empowerment. And I had a guest on who taught people how to swim on the internet by overcoming, yeah, I know, by overcoming fears. Now, would I have gone out and said, I need to look for this guest and this is a perfect topic? No. But when I was talking to her and we were able to see that the life lesson from facing fears and overcoming things, and we were talking about things and it applied to anybody and everybody in different aspects of their life.
Wow.
I know.
What an interesting topic. And I can't swim, so I'm interested. I'm going to have to go check out that episode. There you go.
Or her name is Corey, and she teaches adults how to swim online.
Wow. I guess you bring your own water for that, right? I like that. That's good.
But it's amazing how we can garner
Yeah.
knowledge from everybody in different areas, and it's all applicable because we're humans.
Podcasters are seen as a very trusted voice out there right now in comparison to all the other mediums out there. There's something special
Yeah.
about a podcaster that just shows up and serves their audience and loves on their community like you're doing through your podcast and your summit. People just feel drawn to that. So that's my encouragement for anybody listening as well. Focus on the people that are there, not the people who aren't there yet. They're coming. They'll
Yeah.
come. Don't get discouraged. There's somebody listening
No.
to your show. You won't only have a handful of people when you first start, but those are the people who are following you, and that's your foundation that you can really build upon. As long as you can connect with
Yeah.
them, through the microphone or through email or some way of connecting, that's where you're going to see your foundation get stronger, right?
I agree. One of the things I talk about is universal laws, and podcasting in itself. We don't get to see necessarily the direct reciprocity or the correlation of the effects that we're having. We have to show up with trust and intimacy and vulnerability, and we give just for the sake of giving, and it'll come back.
Yeah.
But it's not an immediate cause and effect like this conversation is, and how I'm gathering information for our energy from you right now. It comes back later.
Yeah.
It comes back in so many different ways.
It's amazing. All right. Again, I could talk to you all day, but I know you got other stuff to do. You got this big event to get ready for, and you need to rest. You need to get your sleep, eat lots of soup. I don't know. You got to do something and prepare for this. Again, let's talk about the podcast again. We'll have links for everybody to come and follow you and your show. We'll talk about the podcast. And then, again, a quick review of the summit for the people listening. They're still here. A reminder about the summit and what we can expect. So podcast and summit, I'm throwing it to you to help close off the episode. Remind us of your show.
Okay. Well, the podcast to profitsummit.com is the registration page. We will be doing this the first week of every other month. So the one what we're talking about right now will be next week, the beginning of December, but the next one will be the beginning of February. It is an ecosystem, a collaborative community of speakers and listeners and people who are thinking about becoming a podcaster, who want to do it better and gather information and knowledge to do it easier. And that's what the summit is about. And so I encourage anyone to come and join us. And if they have a podcast or an expertise, please, we also will be looking for speakers for the February and the next ones. And so that can be found at /speaker-application. And so I encourage people to come and join us and share and promote their own podcasts. And my podcast is my brand, unlearnthecrap.com. Which, by the way, crap is, yes, it is a funny thing. It stops people in their tracks, but it's also an acronym for condition responses and automatic programming.
Of course it is. There you go. I like that. And it's a great name for a show. I like that. Very good. Excellent.
Thank you.
Kathy, thank you so much for making time for this and to come on, and thank you for creating a community for us as podcasters to connect with each other, support each other, learn as well, improve, level up our skills and our confidence as podcasters. I'm really looking forward to these 3 days. I'm going to be exhausted after all these great talks, but I'm just wishing you well as you prepare and get ready for this. And again, just my thanks on behalf of everyone that's going to be attending for all your hard work and pulling this together to benefit us as a community. Thank you so much for doing this for us. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure and my honor. And I cannot wait to hear your talk at the summit on Thursday.
That's great. I can't wait either. It should be interesting. It should be fun. Awesome, Kathy. Thank you so much. Everyone, all information for Kathy, the event, the summit, Podcast to Profit Summit, it'll be in the show notes. Kathy's podcast. And, because we all have crap in our life, you have to definitely check out Kathy's podcast. And I'm sure she'd love to hear from you as well. If you want to be a speaker in February where we will fall in love, maybe, with podcasting, because it's Valentine's, I guess. Maybe that'll be the theme. Ooh. There you go. You can borrow that if you want.
I will.
There you go. Join us in February. If you're listening to this after, make sure you put it on your calendar for that first week. And we have you there. It'd be exciting. Kathy, again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dave.
Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast all the way through to the end. I love having these great guest co-hosts on the show to share their podcast with you. You have some homework to do. And what I'm asking of you is to go check out our featured guest co-host today. Go over and listen to their podcast. The links are always in the show notes. And I'd love for you to go and give them your love and support. And I think if we can all do that for each other, podcasting will be a lot more fun for all of us. So it's time to do what you've asked others to do for you. It's time to do for this guest co-host. Links in the show notes. Go over and check out their show and leave them a review, do the follow, go listen to their episodes in full, the entirety of an episode, which again shows to the apps that it's a good podcast because you're going there and you're staying to the end. It's probably one of the best ways you can help a podcaster grow their audience and be shown to more people is by simply going and listening wherever you listen to the very end, like you're doing right now here. This is the perfect way to signal to wherever you're listening on, this is a podcast worth promoting. And all of the apps want you to stay on as long as possible. So go over and listen to our guest co-host episode and leave them some feedback. If they have a buy me a coffee, send them a coffee. If they have a speak pipe, send them a voice message. If they have an email, send them an email. If they're on Instagram, send them a direct message. Do something to support our guest co-hosts. They've given up their time to be here with you, to be here with me, and we can give that back to them with time and attention, our love, our support. Thank you for doing all that for me as well. Here on the How to Podcast series, we'll talk to you soon for our next episode. Hey, it's Dave. Yeah, I'm still here. You're still here. Great. Let's just answer a quick question before we go. This is a bonus for you because you're still part of the podcast, and I'm throwing these on at the end of the episodes now that we're in the 500s, and just trying something different, seeing if you want to stick around and hang out after the podcast. So the question is, how do I get my audience to respond? How do I get them to reach out to me as the host, and so I can hear from my audience? Two things you can do, which I have recommended often to anyone I'm helping with the launch of their podcast. First, SpeakPipe. SpeakPipe.com, SpeakPipe, SpeakPipe.com. There's a free plan. It doesn't cost you anything. And because you can podcast for free at podcastforfree.com, by the way. It's my website. On SpeakPipe, you can get free messages from your audience. They come in an email to you as an audio message, which then you can reply back to by hitting reply, which is interesting. And you can have a voice conversation. Instead of email, you have a voice conversation with your ideal listener. And you can ask a question. You can get them to leave their message about where they're listening from, any of that stuff. That's the first one. Do that. Set up speakpipe.com. Get the link. You'll get your own special link. Put it in your email signature. Put it on your website. Put it in your show notes. Put it everywhere you can, and invite your audience to respond. It's going to take a few months maybe before your first message will come through. But if you make a big deal of it, other people will fall in and they'll want to be part of it too. So speakpipe.com. Second, buy me a coffee. Why? Well, even if you don't want to make money with your podcast, you don't need to make money with your show. You might be a charity. You might be doing this just to raise awareness around what you do. As a registered charity, you can receive these coffee donations and then use the money for something else. So I love it as an engagement tool. And even if it's just a $5 coffee donation, what I do is I then now have an email from the person who sent me a coffee donation. I respond with a video message to say thank you just for that person, which then they feel like they want to do it again. So that's a great engagement tool. So voice messages through SpeakPipe. I get coffee donations through Buy Me a Coffee. These two things together over time, as you repeat, and as people do it, you respond, are great ways for you to build that up. And maybe a bonus one on Spotify. People can leave comments within the episode itself. So always respond to those comments. If you don't know how to see the comments because you're not hosted on Spotify for creators, there's a way for you to do this where you can have your show up on a dashboard. Just like you can see the back end of Apple, you can see the back end of Spotify. And you can add as many shows as you have do that, and then you can then monitor the comments and what's happening within your show from the back end of Spotify. If you have any questions, howtopodcast.ca. So SpeakPipe, Buy Me Coffee, comments within Spotify. There you go. Well, okay, one more. YouTube comments as well. Be in your comments. Every time somebody does a comment, respond. YouTube will reward you for interacting with your community. SpeakPipe, Buy Me Coffee, Spotify comments, YouTube comments. That's how you get your audience to respond. If you need any help, reach out. Love to help you. Cheers. Bye.